Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Opinion Machine, the show where we talk about all things gaming. My name is Killjoy, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Streets of Rage 4 Mr. X Nightmare DLC. Now, for those who remember, who have seen my old video on it, I said Streets of Rage 4, or I have spoken about this game where it's like, I think Streets of Rage 4 is a good game, but I didn't like it as a single player game. I found the AI to be quite cheap in some places. And it was just a better co-op game, I think, and we did do a playthrough of it on the channel. Now, the DLC came out and added in a survival mode. We got a free update that added some training stuff in. We got new characters, and just overall made it a better package. And I think survival mode really made me appreciate this game more because of what it does, and we'll get into that in a minute. But yeah, overall, right, Streets of Rage 4 is a really solid game. The DLC being about £8, adds some new characters, adds in the survival mode, and basically gives you unlockable moves which you can then mix and match to play. First off, with the training, I just want to show some stuff off. They did like a Streets of Rage Street Fighter kind of like training thing here, where you go into these and it'll teach you how to do combos and stuff with the characters. If we go into free training a minute, and we're just going to use Axel because I have all of his moves unlocked. What the game does is it lets you, through survival, get these extra moves. So I can put all these on here like this, and that lets me, in training, it lets me combo and mess around and all sorts of stuff. Now this training mode is actually really impressive. You have a ton of options here. You can spawn more enemies. You can get fighting tips. You've got the how much enemy health, the AI placement, all that kind of thing, infinite specials, all that kind of stuff. So that really helps. But basically the cool thing about this mode is it lets you train and practice things like that. And that's a really basic combo. But you can see that I have new moves. I've got this move into this one, that one, and then my star move is that. So you can do some fun things like with this, if I can do it properly. Yeah, and that's also my air one, is a ground smash. But if you can do things like this. Yeah, didn't quite catch him, but you can, if you line up the right moves. Yeah. So let's see if we can do this one last time. Into uppercut, and you can do way crazier combos, but the fact that you can practice in this mode really helps. You might be able to do this into there. Oh, should have done a roll. But yeah, it's a really cool mode. I was pulling off, like, with certain, if you pick the right specials and stuff, you can pull off some crazy things. So that's that. You got all the lesson stuff, like I said, really, really useful, really helpful. But survival is a really interesting mode. You can see I've only really got to level 20. But what it does here, if I go to unlocked moves, what he does is it shows you every character has at least one unlockable moves. The old Streets of Rage ones, from the first game, only get a different change to their star move. Now with Axel from Streets of Rage 1, you get the ability to chuck loads of pipes at people, which is kind of fun. But the new characters, the Streets of Rage 2 ones, the Streets of Rage 3 ones, they have a lot more moves. Excuse me. Oh. And with Axel, he's the only one I've got all of them. With Adam, I've almost got all of them as well. But we're just gonna play through maybe like 5 levels of this just to show it off. Like, to me, the thing that makes survival mode so good is that I forget that like survival mode is what you would probably see mostly people call a roguelike in this day and age. The idea that you go into this, you have one life, you get upgrades, you keep going until you die. The difference here is that it actually works really well in this style of game. It's fun. It's a lot of combo heavy stuff. You can play it multiplayer. There's just a lot of cool stuff here, and this, to me, this adds a really good mode to the game. Being able to unlock those moves and pick and choose what you want, hugely, like, awesome. So, I am going to pick... Maybe we'll use one of the new characters. I've hardly played as them, but we'll go with... We've got Bootmark, or Flying Scythe, Flashbang, or Grenade. What's the Blitz attack in it? Go with Flying Scythe, and let's go with Grenade. I haven't unlocked the other ones yet, and that's a defensive special grenade. And so, you're in this simulation, and you get to basically work your way through. Whoosh! You get to work your way through this mode, and every time you complete a level, you gain yourself an upgrade. In this case, we have, you do 100% more damage, but you take 100%, or a golden boomerang. I'm going to take this one. I've never taken this one before, so this should be interesting. And every so many levels, you get a boss. So we'll try and get to the first boss, and go from there. But the thing about this is the music's really, really good. Ooh, a trident. The boss fights are fun. Oh, they should move. Ooh. The levels themselves are fun. You get different types of zones. Just keep juggling him. The weapons you get in this are ridiculous, by the way. Like, oh Christ! Trying to pick the sword up. There we go. So I've got this bat sword. And yeah, the mode's crazy. Like, legit just absolutely bonkers. Take the samurai sword. This is the no jumping one. No jumping, but you gain a bunch of other things. Or you can take a toxic special, and we're going to take the crazy abilities. So I can jump, but I can't do anything really. Like, I do more damage, I move faster. I'm taking all the crazy abilities. Now I don't know what the best abilities are. Oh my god. I don't want to be there. I'll let the bulls deal with themselves, I think. But yeah, there's a ton of different abilities. I don't know which ones are the best ones. I just go with the ones I think are the best ones. I quite like the elemental effects because they can do, like, if you have electric, it's like area effect. If you have fire, they burn when they hit the ground. So you spawn rockets when you use a star move. That sounds fun. I'm trying to think what else there is. There's toxic, which is damage over time. Oh, there we go. We've got a ridiculous sword now. I'm gonna try this in a minute. Ah, that's what that does. As you can see, this sword's kind of ridiculous. There's a giant fish. Take that. Poison. So there's a puffer fish that poisons him as well, which is pretty cool. Like, it's a fun one. The music's also really good. If you can hear the soundtrack's fantastic. I'm just a huge fan of this mode because it's very silly, but also, like, you're actually working towards something, which you can then use in other modes. Damage dealt 20% when at full health. Yeah, let's go. Making good progress here. This is a good little run. We've got a boss. Now, the bosses, depending on who it is, can be quite easy and quite hard. Oh, whoops, I was about to punch him, wasn't I? Now, I might die from this, just because I don't have a lot of health, even though I do more damage, and there's... I better get that food, so I'm gonna die. So that's the problem with going with you take 100% more damage. Shiva's one of the more annoying bosses. He has a what would you call it? A super armor move, so you have to kind of avoid it. It is kind of frustrating. There are a couple of bosses like that, and Mr. Y, who's also really annoying to deal with. Max is also annoying to deal with. Not really what you want to get as the first boss, but this kind of works. I didn't want to do a whole playthrough. I could have been here up to level 20, but just to show you guys that this is what the DLC is about. Oh, unlocked a new move. And now we got alternate offensive special, Sucker Punch. Now what we can do is, the cool thing about that is I can now go back into training, pick her, and look at Sucker Punch and see what Sucker Punch does. So obviously the one where I jumped forward and punched them on the ground was my old move, so what's this now? So it's just a charge. So we got a charge move. That's just one combo with her. I don't know what my air one is. Oh, the grenade. Now I don't know if that's better than the grab, and the only reason I say that is because when you have a grab move, you can kind of break the enemy's AI. So like when you grab them, you can obviously do stuff. Yeah, I think it's a good move, but I don't know if it's better than the grab one. I mean, the difference is this is going to get, if I spawn in a bunch of other... And my imagination is probably that... Yeah, that's what I thought. So it's definitely, it's a multi-hit move, multi-character hit move. If I can get most of them together, it's probably going to knock them. So yeah, I assume this just goes through everybody. Nice. Alright, so there you go, like that gives you an idea of like the different types of fighting moves. Overall, like this DLC makes this game a lot better to me. Like I still have my issues with it as a solo game during the story. There are parts of the story, some of the level design that feel a little bit cheap and frustrating as a solo game. However, the survival mode is really good, and the fact that you gain new fighting moves for every single character. Let's also bear in mind that's every character that's on this screen. That includes the original Streets of Rage ones, the Streets of Rage 2, 3, and so on. And also, Rue, for some reason, gets a ton of moves. But the fact that you've got new characters in this DLC, you've now got unlockable moves. You've got the free update with the training, you've got Mania Plus as well, which is another difficulty. This game has essentially become, like, went, to me, from a very good game to a very excellent game with this DLC. It is cheap, it's only £8, but I think it just adds enough to the game to keep that longevity going. The survival mode is a lot of fun. It gets hard, but it's still a lot of fun. And I just generally think that if you have this game or you're thinking about it, buy the game and the DLC at the same time. I think it massively improves on the base game. Story mode, it's not going to change my issues with story mode. However, because, like, for example, I like to play Adam or Axel, being able to choose the moves I want now is pretty useful, because that means maybe I can go through the solo story again and actually have a bit of an easier time, because some of those moves might combo better, they might be better at clearing the screen. That's what's cool about being able to unlock those moves, is to be able to chop and change between them how you see fit personally. So I'm really impressed with what they've done here, and I didn't think I was going to come back to the game, but I have put maybe like 6, 7, 8 hours into the survival mode, just playing it. And obviously you've got to do that with every character to get all the unlockables, and I do think it's worth it. And if you've got someone to play this with, absolutely, you're going to have a blast, because it doesn't take too long to get those moves. It takes longer with the Streets of Rage 1 characters, because they only have one thing to unlock. But with Axel and stuff, I maybe did like, I don't know how many runs, if it tells me at all. Let's see if it's got history. I mean, you see Adam there, I've got 20, that one. There we go, there's my first 2-player one. That was showing off. Axel, I see Axel, I've done loads. You can see how many I spent doing with him. So that's my very first one, but I did, you know, 5, 6, maybe 7 runs, and like once you get to like sort of 12, 13, you're pretty much guaranteed to do a couple of runs and you'll be fine. So yeah, all I want to say is overall this DLC makes this game a lot better. If you haven't got it, go out and get it. And Streets of Rage 4 is a really good game, and I'm glad that it got made by .emu and if it was .emu themselves or whoever else made it, Lizard Cubed, I think. It's just great, and it's a great update to the game. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching this. As always, that's going to do it for me today. If you like the video, hit like. If you want to see more content like this, then hit subscribe. Links for Facebook and Twitter will be down below in the description, as always. And until next video, I will see you then.